Hello, Canyon Spring Leadership class. It's so glad to see you guys again. It's been such a pleasure being before you each and every month. Can't believe it's already April and we're already close to the end. So today I thought I would talk about business, and then who knows, you never know, I just may appear before you. I'm not going to tell you when. So in today's business talk, let's talk about what business is. So I found a great textbook definition of business, and I'd just like to read it to you. So it says that business is an organization or economic system where goods and services are exchanged for one another or for money. Every business requires some sort of investment and enough customers that can support it to keep that business open. Businesses can be privately owned, nonprofit, or state owned. An example of a corporate business would be Pepsi. You're all familiar with Pepsi. And like a mom and pop catering business or something along that line could be considered a private enterprise. So, the first thing I think to becoming a successful business person is to develop a great business plan. So, I'd like to just share a few topics that you can include in that business plan. So, first of all, let's start with real estate and contractors. Unless you're going to do a home based business like something over the internet where you're making a product, you can actually sell that from home right in front of your own computer. If not, you're going to need office space. So you might need that realtor or a contractor to tell you what you can afford, what size office space you'll need, and the contractor can work on your interior because you want your office space looking nice and attractive for your customers. One other thing you might want to consider is your utility bills. You have to keep the lights on. You have to have your internet service. You have to pay your electricity bill. You have to have phones. So, those are calculations that you're going to need to include in your business plan. A lot of entrepreneurs don't think about those things, and those are very important to keep your business successful and open. Another thing you want to consider is your payroll. You have to pay your employees. Depending on how many people you employ, they will have to get paid. So you have to project those costs ahead of time so that you're able to make payroll on a monthly basis. Also, your inventory costs. You're going to have your product that you're going to sell. You have to project those things ahead of time. It's called supply and demand. What can I afford to keep on hand and what can I sell? So, all of those are very, very, very important considerations when thinking about entrepreneurship. And I think the most important thing is your advertising. Now that you got your business set up, you have to market it. How am I going to make this business attractive so that people want to come in and buy my product? In this technology age, Twitter, Facebook, any other social media site is a good way to advertise your business, and those can be done at minimal cost. Other ways could be print ads, television, and those are your more high cost forms of advertising. So you have to decide which is going to be very important for you. So, last but not least, let's protect our losses. Don't invest every single dime you have in your startup costs because, trust me, if your business does not last, you're broke. So plan ahead. Get together, make a very, very, very concrete business plan so that you're successful and your business thrives. And so, with that said, I have a friend today. His name is Jimmy J. He's a producer in the entertainment field, and I'd like him to share his story about how he got started in his entrepreneurship. So please sit back, enjoy, and here is Mr. Jimmy J. Thank you, and I will see you soon.
Hello, North Las Vegas and my junior leadership students. On behalf of my good friend, Councilwoman Ms. Pamela Goynes Brown, I want to thank you all for inviting me to join you all today. I just want to talk to you guys about a few things about business and leadership, being a positive role model, all of that good stuff. Before I do that, though, I want to talk to you about me so you clearly understand who I am, where I came from, and hopefully that inspires you to be the best that you can be, put your best foot forward, whether you're a child, whether you're a girl, whether you're a boy, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a student, or whatever you're inspiring to be, to encourage you to be all you can be. The world is yours. The sky is the limit. A little bit about me, how I grew up. You see, I came from a very small town in Mississippi, where my parents, they called it back in those days, grassrooted parents, where they were very hard on me. Education was the key. Outside of my education, I excelled in athletics. I was a sports star. I had big dreams. I had big dreams of making it to the NFL and being this superstar athlete. But my parents also instilled me, son, always have a backup plan to whatever it is that you want to do. It may not just be athletics. God may have a different calling on your life. So I respected my parents' wishes. I always tried to respect anything they instilled in me, whether they're inside and out. See, becoming a young man was not just about doing the right things around my parents. It was about doing the things when they're not watching me. I'm a perfect representation of my parents, so I had to always uphold my parents' standards and make sure I took care of the things that I'm supposed to do first, and the rest would handle itself. In a small town in Mississippi is where I grew up. One stop sign, one sheriff, kind of remind you of the old days with Barney Fifer days, the Andy Griffith Show. That's the way we live. But I lived in a community where everybody loved each other, everybody respected each other. I can go down the street to Miss Rosemary's house, and I say her name respectfully, and I had to uphold the same standards of Miss Rosemary as I did to my mother's house, even when my parents wasn't home. So I say all of that to say this to you young kids. First and foremost, respect your parents. Trust me, they've been where you're trying to go. Sometimes when we're young, we think we know it all. Yeah, I've been through that too. But I say to you, respect your parents, respect your elders, respect your teachers. They have a lot of good for you. Sometimes they see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And that's where I got it from. Growing up in a small town was an advantage to me. I learned the respect, the discipline, the integrity. When I was in high school, I was always a workaholic before I got to where I am. I held 2 jobs in high school. Even in high school, I was a 4 sports star, and I still held 2 jobs at the same time because I knew deep down inside of me I was better. I was better. I wanted better for myself. I wanted better for my family. I want to position myself to where I can take care of my family. And that's what I did. I want to always give thanks to people who someone encouraged me and got me to the position that I'm in now. Miss Gray, my math teacher, she stayed on me hard. She said something to me one time that I didn't quite understand then. But she said, Jimmy, you're about the smartest dummy I've ever met. I said to her, what do you mean, Miss Gray? She said, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. Your parents raised you right. Don't be the dummy and follow the wrong crowd. Get yourself in trouble that you can't get out of, developing a record that will carry on throughout your whole entire life. I didn't quite grasp that then, but as I got older, I fell in love with Miss Gray, and I thank her for all the things that she enrooted in me and to being the person that I am. Mr. Hogan, I always give respect to, and I say these things to you guys because when you get older, you're going to reflect back on your teachers and your peers and your advisors and your counsels and your parents of the things they may say to you now that you may not pay attention to, but would definitely affect your life later on. Mr. Hogan was my math teacher. I was great in math. I love numbers. I was his assistant, and I was in high school grading papers. It just kind of gave me a little authority, I guess. I felt good about it myself. But what that did, and I didn't realize it instilled encouragement into me. Self-fulfillment, pride. It developed accountability, so to speak, which we all need today. And to have someone in your life that holds you accountable for everything you do, even when you're young, it develops character. You sort of grow up before they say you grow up. So I thank Coach Hogan, I thank Ms. Gray for laying the foundation for me. In sports is where I excelled. I once had a football coach, and I'm the star of the team. Being young as a star athlete, All-American, at that point, all-district in high school, you couldn't tell me nothing. That's when I was growing up. But I had a coach, Coach Reynolds, who used to make me roll the field when I was late. Yeah, I had attitude. How can you make a star athlete like me roll the field? Come on, coach. But I didn't understand it then. The key was, regardless of how high you get, you still have to answer to authority. So I say that to you young people today. Be respectful. Everything you do today will come back to you later on in life. So plant yourself well today. Plant yourself well so you don't have regrets later. I went on to have a good, successful career. I went to college in Chicago and had my NFL days and CFL days and AFL days, which is arena football. Through that process, I was still the star athlete that I think I knew everything until I was in camp in Green Bay one day, and the coach sent me home. I'm good. Yeah, but I was too good. You see, I was prideful. I was one of those athletes, maybe just like some of you. You're boastful, you're prideful, you're good, you're kind of arrogant. Coach sent me home because he didn't just want a good athlete. He wanted a smart athlete. In today's athletics, some of you out there who are sports stars, you come to understand that. Get yourself together now. Because even at the highest level of the NFL, they want smart players, not just great players. So let that be a message to you. Where I've been, let me tell you a little bit where I've been. I've had a very stretched career. I started my career out after college with some injuries, which delayed things before my professional career, being part of the Department of Rehab, where I raised over $330,000 a month for the rehabilitation program. I was also a part of the Prisoner Review Board. I've done everything. See, to me, the sky was the limit. Anything I set my mind to, I wanted to do it. Sometimes I can get a little bored with things that are not challenging, which some of you may be in the same position. I went from there to the Prisoner Review Board, where we handled the death penalties. Yes, these elected legislators are part of the Prisoner Review Board appointed by the board and the governors of Illinois. I learned a lot, but I also found that it wasn't for me. My passion is what I do, and that's entertainment. I love entertainment. I knew where my road was, but I had to travel a journey to get to where I am. My very first business, as you'll see the picture on the wall, when I got to Las Vegas, I moved out here. The day that Princess Diana passed away, I packed my bags. It touched me so deeply, I said I wanted a different life for myself, and I moved to Las Vegas almost 20 years ago. I've had over 14 businesses since I've been in Las Vegas, from a professional massage therapist to a certified professional football trainer. Well, even today, everything that I do, I give respect to my good friend, NFL soon-to-be Hall of Famer one day, Randall Cunningham, who laid down the foundation for me. Randall and I were like peas in a pot, oranges and apples, I guess. But what I do respect about Randall is he held me accountable for every single thing I did. Some of you may be too young to know who Randall Cunningham is, but he's a UNLV alumni, a graduate, also a NFL quarterback for many, many, many years of the Philadelphia Eagles. Before we went to Minnesota, the Randy Moss first days, we were there. Randall Cunningham is attributed to all of that, and then to Dallas, and then to Baltimore before he ended his career. I love that man to death because he taught me business, he taught me respect, he taught me character. He opened a lot of doors for me. And I'll always, in everything I do, honor him because of the ground that he set for me. Find your role model, young kids, someone that you can look up to. Separate yourself from negative people. Stay focused on what you want to achieve in life. If you're a businessman, some of you may be NFL stars, some of you may play basketball. This is guys and girls. Some of you may want to be into politics. But whatever it is, develop you a business plan. Get that business plan going now. And I'm going to talk to you about some things you want to do to get your business going. I've owned 14 different businesses out here in Las Vegas. Been very fortunate, from music recording studios. I've had limo businesses, the Dish Network satellite company in Georgia. I even own a Quest diagnostic facility. Anything that had an opportunity, a window for me to make money, but successfully and legally, I got into it. I was a mortgage broker. I even worked very closely with my good friend, Dr. Jaheem Mensing, who was Senior Vice President of Estelada. What we did there, we formulated fragrances and skincare I mean, he has a line of skincare to his credit, and I was fortunate to work underneath some people like that. I mean, from Armani, Jupe Coolwater, Polo Sport, Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford. These are all lines he developed, Terry Mueller, Angel. And I was along some of those rides. So what I did in my entertainment business, I connected Dr. Mincing to a lot of celebrities, and he could make skincare and fragrances for them. We did a line for Janet Jackson, Vanessa Williams, Ciara, you name it. My point is that regardless of what you want to do in life, the sky's the limit for you, so don't hold yourself captive and be held in hostility. Don't be a hostage to your own environment, is what I'm saying. You can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it, and let nobody dictate your destiny. You hear me? Let nobody. Anything you want to do, regardless of how tall, how short, you can do anything, whatever the color, race, or creed is. Set your mind to it, prepare yourself, and you can do it. CA International is where I am today. I've owned City Lights Bar and Grill. You know, some things I'm very proud of, like City Lights Bar and Grill. I was one of the first African Americans in the city to be granted a liquor license in Clark County, liquor and gaming. That's big. You know, there are people out there like Oprah and Donald Trump who had been denied certain things, but, you know, they could change some things. You know, little old me, I take it as a privilege when people grant me things like that, and I'm very proudful of it. I like to do things out of the ordinary. When someone tells me no, that's inspiring to me, that's encouraging, and I work twice as hard to prove them wrong. City Lights Bar and Grill is very successful. I sold out of that, which is where I am today, and I have been for the last 20 years. CAA International is my entertainment group. I produce concerts, special events. I partner with a lot of the casinos, radio stations. I'm the president of the Las Vegas Soul Festival, where this year I partner with guys like Mike Epps and a lot of other entertainers and actors. I work with everybody in the business, but it's an honor and a privilege, so I don't take that lightly. When you take 20 to 30 years to build a brand, to build a corporation, you have to protect not only yourself, your identity, your brand, but you also as a representations of others. So I have to uphold myself, regardless of anywhere and everywhere I go. I always think back to the people who've helped pave the way for me to get to where I am. So I have to make sure I maintain integrity and the right character in myself. I am the president of the Las Vegas Soul Festival, president of Old School Classic Jams, president of New Year's Eve, which is top 5 rated in the city. Club Oasis is one of my things I do, you know, as I might say to the young whippersnappers in the old days. We say I cater to the old school back in that time because this is what I do, this is what I love. So I say to you, when you find something you love, it's a passion, and a passion is never work. I love what I do. It's a passion, and my passion is entertaining people. I produce concerts all over the world, and I enjoy it, whether I made a dime or not. So I say to you, when you develop your passion, you found your purpose. So I say to you today, start developing your passion for whatever it is that you want to do in life, and it will never be considered work to you. When it's a passion, it's never work. Remember that, okay? Before I let you go, I want to say some things to you and just give you some nuggets of how to build a career for yourself, how to set up your own business. Some of you may want to work for yourself. Like me, I've been self-employed for almost 30 years, and I enjoy it. But also when you're self-employed, there's a lot of work involved. So, you know, you don't get many off days, so you have to prepare yourself if this is what you want to do. Being self-employed is a great thing. I enjoy helping others. I enjoy employing others. It's a blessing, and I thank God every day for that blessing. Find your purpose in life, number 3 on my list. When you find your purpose in life, again, you've found your passion. What is it that fulfills you? Ask yourself that question. What is it that fulfills you? What is it that makes you happy? What is your dream? What is your vision? And what is your plan? My coach used to always say to me, if you fail to plan, well, you're planning to fail. You have to have a plan in place for everything. Put it on paper is one of my big things. You know, as you say, I take notes and I prepare myself ahead of time for everything. When I put things on paper, I can visualize what I'm planning. So put it on paper and hold yourself accountable to whatever you're putting on paper. If you have a business idea, young people, incorporate your ideas. Incorporate your business. Yeah, some things may cost a little money, and if you don't have the money to incorporate it right away, you can always start out as a sole proprietor. You know, you have a name, put the business in your name. You can always transfer it or switch it over later and incorporate it. But make sure you incorporate everything you do because you're building a brand. And that brand you're building equity in. And when you build equity in it, at some point if you feel like selling, you can sell your company without having to sell your name. Trademarking and copywriting is very important, guys. That's one of my big things on my list. Everything that I do, I have on 14 businesses. I'm running 8 now. I trademark and copyright everything. Therefore, no one can ever touch or infringe upon your brand or your equity of your company. No one can ever duplicate anything you're doing. If you trademark it, don't just have an idea, but trademark it, copyright it, incorporate it with the Secretary of State. So it's yours. No one can touch it. Anyone try to use your name, your company name, your brand, when it's incorporated, you can send out a cease and desist to them because it's yours and nobody else can touch it. Something you may not know about right now is a D&B, a Dun and Bradstreet. Make sure you get you a D&B. And I'm going to tell you some secrets. I don't know if anybody's listening. Nobody's listening. But I'm going to tell you some secrets here. One of the good things that I do when I incorporate a business, I always immediately open up a bank account. This is just between you and I. I always open up a bank account, right? Every dime you make sure you put it in the bank. Leave no cash on you. What that does is it establishes a credit line with the bank. Even if you take that money, put it in the bank, and take it right back out the exact same day, it gives credit to your account, which later on you may decide you want to go to the bank and get a loan. When the banks pull your statements and they look and see that little Johnny has put over $20,000 in his bank account this month, it gives you leverage. So take that little $10, $15 out of your pocket. It's never too small. Go to the bank and deposit money every single day, regardless of how big, how small it is. It helps you. It increases credit lines for you. That's a big thing of mine. I go to the bank every single day. I got $2 out of my pocket, I deposit it, even if I have to take it right back out. All right, remember that. That's smart thinking. Okay, nobody is watching, so I can continue, right? Stick with your business plan, guys. I'll say this to you, and don't worry about nobody else. You know, you're going to have a lot of competition in the things you do. But if you stick with your business plan, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It develops over time. You have to have a little patience to what you're doing. But make sure you stick to your business plan and don't worry about Richard or Mark or Tiffany or Jennifer or anybody else. Stick with your business plan. It'll pay off in the long run because you're building equity in what you're doing over longevity, okay? Number 4, I always say this to you, and I say this to my little brother as he says to me as well. I'm going to give you some good advice. Build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. What does that mean? If you're content with working for someone, that's okay. But you're building a lifelong dream for someone else when you're working for someone else. Build your own dreams. And it's a beautiful thing to control the destiny. If you want to sleep in, you can, because you're your own boss. You want to hire others, you can. It's a beautiful thing to employ others. Because if you're not building your dreams, I would guarantee you one thing: someone will hire you to build theirs. Number 5 on my list are the measures of success. You got to see it, you got to dream it, and you got to live it. Visualize your dreams. When you dream it, understand your dreams and live it. You have to then execute your dreams. Don't be a sayer, be a doer. If you say something, mean it and stick to it. In the high school level, college level, and your adulthood, say what you mean and mean what you say. Stay away from negative people and you'll be okay. As the kids call it nowadays, your haters. Stay away from your haters. Don't get caught up in doing bad things trying to be cool. I'm telling you because I'm speaking from experience. You see, when I was young and in college and all these things, having these fancy cars, it's kind of cool, guys, because, you get the ladies when you got nice cars, It's real cool, okay? But it's not being responsible. Be responsible for everything you do. Hold yourself accountable. Connect with someone that will hold you accountable. And oh, yes, ladies, the guys look kind of fly, too, when you got your nice ride, too. Yes, nice hairdo and nails done with a nice Coach bag on your side. Build a business for yourselves, lady. I know a lot of my friends, and I say that respectfully, as professional athletes who are married, wives. No one get married to divorce, but I'm speaking real with you. Set something up for yourself. Build a career for yourself, young ladies. All right? Hold yourself with pride and respect. It's nothing like seeing an independent young woman have her own car, have her own mortgage, have her own business, and can pay for things and take care of herself. That's where you want to be. Okay? And lastly on my list, before I leave you guys, I want to say this to you. Don't be afraid to take risk. Life involves risk. Every measure of life that you go through will involve risk of some sort. In the great words of Dr. Martin Luther King, he said, any man or woman who are afraid of taking risk will never prosper. What does that mean? That means that it just may be buying a car for you. It's a risk. But if you're going to buy that car because you're afraid, you may not never prosper and get in that car you want. Life involves risk. Calculate your risk, but don't be afraid to take risk. Okay? The world is yours. The sky is the limit. May God's blessings be upon all of you and his blessings stored in abundance. I want to thank my good friend, Councilwoman, Ms. Pamela Goynes for inviting me here. And hopefully I'll see my next president or my next president of the United States, for that matter, or my next star athlete out of one of you guys. Take care of yourself, all right? God bless. I love you all. Thank you.